Good morning, fourth graders. So today we're going to go ahead and get started on a project that's going to tie in with you reading Treasure Island. So I have two projects for you, and I'm going to do them in two separate videos. The first one is going to be a pirate ship. So I thought this would be a really fun project for us to draw together. What you're going to need are only two things today. You're just going to need a Sharpie and a pack of crayons. Super easy. I've done mine on a big piece of 12 by 18 paper like we use in the art room, but if you have a smaller sheet of paper at home, go ahead and get that piece of paper out, even if you have to take it out of your sketchbook. Go ahead and grab that piece of paper, and I'm going to show you how to draw this and then how to color it and making it kind of have the blending of your colors like your sunset and making you have darker shades. If you look at how I've done the woodwork in here, you'll see that that's darker and then this part's lighter. So I'm going to show you how to do that while we draw today. Okay? All right, so grab a pencil or pen and your crayons, and that's what we'll do to get started. Okay? I'll see you in a minute. Okay, artists, let's go ahead and get started today. So you'll notice in front of me, I have this ship. And the first thing that we're going to do, it's going to sound really funny, but we're going to draw this in pieces. And we're going to start at the bottom of our ship and work our way up. So, and then we're going to work from left to right. And the reason why we do that is because we hide pieces of our sails as we go. So what I want you to do is, if you want to go ahead and draw with a pencil first and bring your eraser with you, you can do that. I'm not going to, because you won't be able to see it very well. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Sharpie as I draw. But you, because you're drawing with a pencil, you'll be able to erase and you'll be able to go back and check your piece a little bit more than I will. Okay? So I'm going to move this out of the way for the time being. And we're going to go ahead and get started on our pirate ship. So on my piece of paper, it's hard to see. But this is my paper, one edge, and here's my other edge over here. I'm going to start off first by drawing waves at the bottom of my paper. And I want them to all go in one direction. So I'm going to pretend the wind is blowing this way, or do I want the wind to blow this way? Whichever direction I want my wind to blow is going to catch my sails, okay? So if I have my wind catching my sails, see how my sails are billowing? I want my waves to go this direction, like the wind is being pushed in that direction. So I'm going to start off by drawing my waves. I'm going to come up and draw a couple, and then a few little capped ones. Okay, super easy. Do you notice how I didn't go to the edge of both my sides? I decided not to go to my edge, and that way I can add some more waves in later after I draw my ship. Okay, so if you're doing this in pencil, go ahead and do that in pencil. If you're doing it in Sharpie with me, I'm going to have you put Sharpie over it, or marker. Even if you have a black Crayola marker, you can do that after we're done. Okay. Okay, so my next thing I'm going to do is draw the back of my ship. And I'm going to make it come here and go down and then pop into the water like that. So it's sort of like a step that's just been softened, okay? We're going to come down. This is going to be, if you look at that, this is going to be the back of the ship right here. I actually made this one a little bit deeper because this is not correct. This one is. So I made it a little bit deeper. You're going to make that slight curve and then make it round into the water. That's this part right here. Okay, that's the back of my ship. I don't know the technical terms. I probably should. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and go to the front, and we're going to do the bow of the ship. Now, when I do the front of my ship, if you notice, I'm doing one part and then I'm adding it so it looks like it's three-dimensional. So I'm going to go ahead and start by making this curve of my ship like this is my front. I'm going to thicken that up and make it so that's going to be the wooden portion that goes into the water. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add this other portion of my ship because that's going to be sort of like it's the other side. Okay, I'm going to leave it. We'll go back and add more in a minute. So now I have the front and the back of my ship. So my next part that I want to draw, and I'm going to draw this part of my ship. Okay, and for some reason I want to start back here. So that's where I'm going to start. So I'm going to take my line and bring it out about to here. So I'm coming a little bit over and letting it hang over, probably like 2 fingers. Okay, so it's like 2 fingers here and 2 fingers here. And then I'm going to bring it down bring it about a hand's width. Now this is, my measurements, boys and girls, is on my big paper. So yours, if you're doing this on a smaller sheet of paper, your measurements are not going to be the same as mine. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so I have the basic portion of the shape of my ship drawn. So I'm going to go ahead and add a few details. I'm going to take this line right here and just add it like it's wood trim. Remember, if I'm going too quick for you, you just pause the video, okay? If we were at school, I'd have you give me thumbs up and I wouldn't start until you were all ready. But I'm going to keep going and you just pause whenever you need to slow down, okay? All right, so I have that portion done. The next thing I'm going to do is my railing. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to tilt my paper a little bit, and I'm going to make a railing across this portion. That's floating, so now I need to connect it and make some rails. These are just going to be wooden rails that I'm going to color brown. Okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing across this portion. And I probably need another one there. There we go. Okay, so now I have my two rails done. Let's go to the front of our ship and we're going to go ahead and make that long post in front that my front flag is going to tie to. All right, so now it's time. Now that I've made my ship, it's time for me to make my sails. Now I'm going to show you one thing I've just noticed about my ship is I made it taller than my other one. So I don't have as much space for sails up here, which is okay. I just have to keep that in mind as I'm drawing. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with the very front of our sails. We're going to go ahead and draw a post to hold one of our sails. Okay, and then I'm going to draw one sail coming down. So this is going to come rounded like that. This piece is going to go curved like that. And this piece is going to go curved like that. All right, so I have one sail. And I'm just going to put some lines right here so it kind of looks like string, like my sail is tied to my posts, okay? In mine, I drew the skull on top for my pirate ship. So you could go ahead and draw a skeleton. Usually there's that part on there. And then I drew, watch how I did this. I just made an X, a thick, behind. And then this is why I like using a black marker. But you'll do this, if you're doing it in pencil, you'll do this with your black marker later, okay? And then I put a patch on it because, you know, we want our pirate ship to look like it's been used. Okay, so the next part I'm going to draw, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be this sail right here. Now, if you notice on mine, I don't draw my mast all the way down and then put my sails on it. I draw my sails and then I skip over my mast. So when I draw my sails here, they're going to look like they're floating in the air. So just give me a second. If you had a pencil, you could draw your mast first, but I don't. So I'm going to draw my sails floating in the air. Notice how I've given them a curve, okay? And that's to mimic the look of wind blowing, okay? Then I'm going to go ahead and add that mast to it. Okay, so I have one set of sails drawn. These ones are kind of small. Here I put a flag if you wanted to, because I know my wind is blowing this way. My flag then is going to fly this direction. And mine's all broken up at the edges. And when you do it like that, it makes it look like, when you put that little curve there, it makes it look like it's flying in the wind. Okay, my next sail. My next sail is going to go right in the middle. I'm going to have 3 sails on this one. So I know that I want to start up a little bit higher on my sail. All right, so I'm going to start about right here. I'm going to curve it, remember, just like this curve. Bring it across. I'm going to curve it here, and I'm going to have it go down in the middle of that sail. All right, I'm going to go ahead here, draw this, curve it, and it's going to go in the middle of that sail, and I'm going to have my last one and it may have to tuck down. That's okay. Alrighty, so there's that one, and I'm going to go ahead and add that to it. Okay, so now I have 2 sets of sails. I'm going to put my last set of sails up here, and this one's just going to be a tiny bit higher. Okay, I'm going to bring my line across, bring it down. I want it to go a little bit further than that sail and bring it there. Okay, again, it's going to cut into this one, and that's okay because it's hidden behind it, right? It doesn't have to give it, doesn't actually have to be there. Alrighty, and then I'll put my last post in. Okay, so pretty easy, guys. We have our ship drawn. Remember, you're pausing at any point in time. So now I'm going to go add some details. So I'm going to put, these are going to be almost like wooden sticks that are holding my flag, holding my sails on. So I'm just going to go add these. If you wanted to at this point get out your Sharpie and start drawing in Sharpie, you could if you've been drawing in pencil. But if you haven't yet, then that's okay. You can finish drawing the rest of your ship. So the next thing I want to go ahead and do is I want to give my ship some wood. And remember, I'm making it go that way because it's supposed to be the curve of the boat. So here then I would make these ones go straight. I'm just going to give my ship wood. And all I'm doing, it's really simple. I'm going to stop right here. So I've drawn 1, 2, 3. I'm going to stop. And now I want to put some windows in. All right, and these are just windows that I might have to shoot my cannon out of. It's fun to be able to add these type of things. Now, if there were other items that you would want to add on your ship, ladies and gentlemen, this is your ship. I want you to add those things on there, okay? If you wanted to draw some of the, maybe something that's floating, swimming in the water, you could add that too. But first, let's finish our ship up. So I've given my ship some wood on it. And I'm just going to go ahead and add these lines that mimic wood. And I might even go through and add a few little lines like this. Okay? All right. So there I have my ship. I'm going to leave my ship just like this. Maybe put a patch back here on my ship. On my sail. But if you wanted to add something more onto your ship, you could do that right now. The next thing I want to do is draw a horizon line. So yours can be way up high, so you have water going behind it. It can be low. So if you look at mine is higher than my ship. I made it go behind so you can see the blue water behind it, and I made a setting sun, okay? And then I kind of tried to do a sunset with some wispy clouds. Yours can be similar to that, or your ship, your land, maybe your horizon line is lower this time, and it can be like this horizon line too, because this is going to be where your ocean meets the sky. And then I'm just going to go through and put a few more. Now, if you wanted to put a treasure chest down here, or you wanted to put some sand and you wanted to have fish swimming around, boys and girls, please add those fun. Those are the parts that make your picture look unique and make it special. All right, so I'm going to have the sun setting. My sun isn't going to be, this one, my sun is huge. It goes all the way behind it. If you like that, what I like about this is it makes my sails pop up off the page. But on this one, I'm going to make my sails just do, my sun a little bit differently. So I'm just going to pull my sun. And remember, I'm jumping, pretending I'm still drawing, because I want it to look relatively round, okay? So there's my sun, and I'm going to maybe just do my sky however I want it. But I also am going to put some wind in my sky. So it looks like my sky is moving, okay? Maybe over here, I'm going to put this silly little thing in my picture. Anybody guess what that's supposed to be? You guessed it. It's my mermaid's tail. All right? And maybe she's swimming down under the water. All right. So I've done this part. All right? I'm done. So if you used pencil, I want you to take your Sharpie now and I want you to trace it. Pause the video. trace your whole picture, and then come back to me when you're done. Then when you're done tracing, take your eraser and just erase all your pencil lines, okay? All right, next step, we're gonna get out our crayons, okay? These are my beeswax crayons. I just like using them because they're fat, but regular crayons work just as well. So I'll just put both of those there, and I can go ahead and grab. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get brown. This brown, excuse me, is a little bit lighter color, but here's the difference with crayons. If I press really hard, I'm gonna get a different look than if I press really softly. So I wanna show you what I mean by that. If I take my wooden posts and I press hard for my wooden posts, okay, and my trim, right? So I'm pressing hard with those ones. It almost makes them solid. But you could do this with marker too if you wanted. Here's the difference. If I wanted to do all my outlining with my brown marker, I could do that, and I could outline all those dark, but I want to come back with my crayon and make it lighter, and that's what this part is. This is lighter. So I pressed harder with my crayon over my lines, but I did lighter when I was shading it in. So here I might take my crayon like that, but then I would shade it in like that. All right. Just like that. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to color in my picture, and you can watch me do that. It's going to go really fast, and then you'll see how I've colored my picture in, okay? I want you to go ahead and start coloring yours. Okay, boys and girls, when you have finished coloring all the parts of your pirate ship, it should look something like this. So the only things you really should leave white on your ship are going to be your sails. And I noticed I forgot this part right here. There we go. When you're done, take a picture of it, send it to Mrs. McLean or Mrs. Hidden, or send it to myself so I can see the artwork that you've created. Okay, once you're done with this, if you want to, you can join me on another video where we're going to be making a pirate map, okay, a treasure map. So join me over there. See you soon.